Educational GMAT. Your partner in your GMAT journey.
Historian. Yes. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah. Well, I mean, actually, the questions we do in the class are slightly on a tricky level. So not all questions would be of that level in the actual exam. Again, who is the author of this argument? Historian. Very nice. Right? Historian is the author of this argument. In that case, who will be the author? No, no. Here it's clearly mentioned, right? Historian and then colon. So clearly the entire thing is coming from the historian. This colon, Prasenjit, right? So all of this is the view of the historian. Well, just two. It has been assumed that this blockade was crucial to the outcome. And by the way, what was the outcome? Ulmia won the war. That is the outcome that we are talking about.
So the conclusion would be that the blockade was not crucial to the outcome, right?
All right, all right. Very nice, very nice. So as Shatika is mentioning, can you please repeat it?
That the blockade was not crucial to the outcome.
All right, okay, okay, all right. Let's look at this. Let's look at this. This is again quite tricky in that sense. What is the historian's viewpoint, by the way? So this is now, Shatika, do you get this? Can you tell me, by the way, what is the historian's viewpoint? Historian, yes, historian, yes, go ahead, please.
Yeah, that the historian's view is that the blockade is not necessary for the outcome.
Very nice. So historian is saying that blockade was not the reason why Ulmia won the war. Not the reason that Ulmia won the war. Do you agree, Chatrika?
Yeah.
Right? Notice this is where it has been assumed. Right? This is the assumption. But now this is where the historian has reservations on this assumption. Right? The historian is saying that quantitative data refute this assumption. And that what is that quantitative data? That only 1 in 6 merchant ships attempting to enter or leave Krinikan ports was actually captured by Ulmia. Only 1 in 6. So clearly the historian is implying that blockade was not the reason that Ulmia won the war. And we have to challenge this. So which means what are we looking for in the right option? Sorry. Very nice, Kavita. That we are looking for an option that suggests that blockade was actually the reason why, or at least the blockade played a key role in Ulmia's winning of the war, right? That is the conclusion. So this is the historian's conclusion, right? Because we have to, right? This is the historian's conclusion, and we have to challenge this. So we have to look for an option that suggests that blockade did play a crucial role in Ulmia winning the war. See, actually, process of elimination is also something that you must aggressively apply in critical reasoning. Now, whether Krinika had no means of preventing Ulmia from blockading its ports uh, is really not something that we are concerned about. It is a fact that only 1 in 6 merchant ships were actually captured. Similarly, what happened prior to the blockade is really not our concern, right? During the blockade um, is what is our actual concern here, right?
So option C.
All right. Only a relatively small portion of Krinika's overseas trade was with Ulmia prior to the blockade.
Sir, option E,
Sorry, which one?
the last option, E.
All right. Rajiv is saying option Edward. Kavita is also saying Edward. Well, Baker. Now that's the thing, Prasenjit. What happened prior to the blockade, right? We are talking about. We are looking for an option that should suggest that blockade did play a major role in Ulmia winning the war. Correct. Entire time. Entire time means 4 years, right? In this case, yes. Very nice. Very nice. So if you look at Edward, it says the number of ships captured each month increased sharply in the latter stages of the blockade as Ulmia greatly expanded its blockade force. Why do you guys think Edward is the answer, by the way? Anyone? Since a lot of you chose Edward, why do you guys think Edward is the right answer? So, yeah, so essentially the whole point is across 4 years, right? The war, obviously, the dispute lasted for 4 years. Across 4 years, only 1 in 6 ships were captured by Ulmia. 1 in 6 obviously seems to be very less. On the basis of which the historian is suggesting that blockade did not play a crucial role in Ulmia winning the war. What Edward is saying is that while, now notice this is kind of also a question that is testing you on average. At an average, only 1 in 6 ships was captured across 4 years. But what Edward is saying is that the number of ships captured each month increased sharply in the latter stages of the blockade, which means perhaps, and I'm just giving you an example, perhaps in the first 3 years, perhaps in, yeah, so perhaps in the first 3 years, let us say, I'm just trying to think of some figures here, some figures here. Let us say only 10 ships. So basically what I'm just trying to think of examples. Suppose in 4 years, there were a total of 600 ships entering or leaving Krinikan ports, total 600. And out of these 600, how many were actually captured? Correct? So let us say in the first 3 years, suppose that there were a total of 450 ships, total 450 ships, out of which, let's say, only 10 were captured. Now, what happened in the fourth year then? What happened in the fourth year? Absolutely. So very nice. In the fourth year, Ulmia ended up capturing 90 ships out of the remaining 150. Right? Now, so that's what Edward is saying, that Ulmia clearly became much more aggressive in implementing this blockade as the dispute progressed. So this gives us a reason to believe that perhaps Krinika surrendered as a result of this blockade, because Ulmia became more aggressive as the dispute progressed. Right? So now if you look at 4 years of data, it is still, notice, a total of only 100 ships were captured among the 600. But then the skew of the data suggests that the intensity of blockade increased significantly as the dispute progressed, leading us to believe that it was most likely the blockade that contributed to the surrender of Krinika.
So I thought option C, because if the proportion of Trinika's trade with Ulmia is small, then even a small capture would make a big impact. So
Okay, all right. So fair enough. So what do you guys think about Charlie as an option? Yeah. Only a relatively small portion of Krinika's overseas trade was with Ulmia prior to the blockade, was with Ulmia, only a relatively small portion. Uh, Now, the thing is, I would say that Charlie, in that sense, does not really address the situation, because when we are talking about merchant ships, right? Merchant ships entering and leaving Krinika's ports. Absolutely. We are not talking about these merchant ships that are going to and fro from Ulmia to Krinika only. Right? Merchant ships could leave to anywhere in the world, and not just to and fro Krinika. So while this is talking about the merchant relationship only between Krinika and Ulmia.
okay, understood.
Uh, Only a relatively small portion of Krinika's overseas trade was with Ulmia prior to the blockade. Okay, so Isha, why do you say that it seems to be actually strengthening the historian's argument? Go ahead, go ahead. Okay, okay, Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. So what Isha is interpreting is that since the trade between Trinica and Ulmia, as per option Charlie, was anyway very small. So this seems to suggest that blockade would not have been a reason why Trinica surrendered. While I would be okay with that interpretation, but I think the larger issue is, as I said, that overseas trade need not obviously be between Ulmia and Krinika exclusively. We are talking about the entire merchant shipping. Chatrika, is this clear?
Yeah, understood.
Okay. All right. Tricky one. Okay.